Hello and welcome to Unfiltered Imposed Opinions, where I'm Drew. And yeah, and we are having a episode of. Hold on, did your mic came unplugged?
Did it?
Yes, it's laying on your stomach. Some technical difficulties. Give us 1 second.
Hello.
And we will start that again. This is Unfiltered Imposed Opinions, where I'm Drew.
And I'm the other guy, also known as B.
There we go. I was like, why can't I hear him?
Anyway. Why is he not saying stuff?
Episode 7, we are doing our list of horror movies.
Horror.
Top 50.
Horror.
We read a couple lists.
Horror.
And we came up with our own lists and compiled them down to come.
We don't give a shit if you like it or not. No, we're kidding.
Come to an agreement of a list of our own.
And by agreement, more or less just like a
compile
of the two lists. So what I did is Drew sent me his list, I sent him my list, and then he had a bunch of shit to do, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just go through the list, take the ones that we collectively had like on both of our lists and made that like started from number 1 and go down. And then just kind of took shit from each of our lists and threw it in there. Obviously, I was going to do a little more than 50, but I feel like 50 is good. We can maybe have some like honorable mentions out of the other lists, depending on how long it takes us to get through the list.
Absolutely. So, without further ado, starting at number...
Without further ado,
50, we got Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs came out in 1991.
Absolute classic of the horror genre,
starring Miss Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins. So, this was more so on his list. I have watched it a couple times. I'm not going to say that it's a favorite. Definitely a good movie. There is a piece behind this movie. I don't know if you know this, but...
Yeah, where people say he says hello Clarice and he actually doesn't say it.
Yeah, he never.
Yeah. It's bullshit because I remember him saying it.
Hello Clarice.
Hello,
it's nice
Clarice.
to see you again.
Yes, I remember that.
It actually came from The Cable Guy. He made that up.
Really?
Mm-hmm. In the movie The Cable Guy with Jim Carrey, he when he puts all the bacon on his face at medieval times, that's where that came from. But he never actually said that.
Well, then maybe that's what I heard it from, but I remember hearing that statement.
So Silence of the Lambs did release on February 14th, so it was Valentine's Day for a release. Grossed at $272.7 million worldwide, but on a $19 million budget. Becoming the 5th highest grossing film of 1991 worldwide. In preparation for his role as the good Dr. Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins studied files of serial killers of everything that he could find. And then it was a sleeper hit that gradually gained a widespread success and critical acclaim. Won 5 Academy Awards out of 7 nominations and 1 Golden Globe out of 5. It's a good movie. I'm going to guess that most of you have seen it. If you haven't, give it a listen, give it a watch. Let us know what you think about that one.
It's a absolute classic. I had to add it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it realistically would be a little higher on like a top, of all-time top famous horror movies, but these are just like the ones we watch regularly.
Right. So, number 40 died. We have Psycho. Psycho came out in 1960. Psycho is an Alfred Hitchcock movie released on September 8th, 1960, with a gross revenue of $50 million, which is a lot of money back in the 60s. It is now considered one of Hitchcock's best films and arguably one of his most famous. Psycho is the first American film to show a toilet on a screen. That's a pretty interesting fact.
That's a weird little ditty.
Yeah. It was inspired by the true story of Ed Gein, who was a murderer, a serial killer. And it was also a inspiration for the movie Deranged Confessions of a Necrophile. The official trailer in 1960 ran for over 6 minutes and 30 seconds, a feat unheard of in today's trailers. Most trailers today are like about a minute 50 to 3 minutes tops, I think.
At most.
But I'm pretty sure that the trailer for this movie was Alfred Hitchcock explaining the entire movie. Like, he was standing in front of the Bates Motel in the house.
Oh, maybe.
And explaining the whole movie. But yeah, I like Psycho. I'm a huge fan of the TV show Bates Motel, which you can watch on one of the streaming services. I know it was on Netflix for a while. It might still be on there. Good story. Deranged kid, obsessed with his mother.
That's a good one. Honestly, this one wasn't on my list. It's a good movie. It's a cult classic. I appreciate it. Not one of the ones that I automatically will first go to watch, but
Right.
I have no problem with watching it. If somebody's like, "Hey, let's watch Psycho," I'll be like, "Fuck yeah, let's watch it."
Yeah. That has a runtime of an hour and 49 minutes, so that's not too long of a movie. Some of these get pretty long, but
There's a couple of them on this list that I actually think are like over 2 hours. Actually, well, the one series that we have is, I'm pretty sure it's like 2.5 hours, 3 hours long.
yeah. Next up, number 48, Halloween 40 Years Later. You might give me shit for this, man, but I don't think I ever watched this Halloween.
This one, the first one that they just came out with, we've watched it. It's the one where he gets locked in the basement.
Oh, so it actually is called. Yeah, you're right. I thought it was like an older one, and I didn't even think it. Yes.
No, this is literally the
wow, this is very high up on the list for that. That was a good movie. That's weird.
I think it was a very good movie. Yes, I'm not saying that it wasn't a good movie.
Yeah.
I just think.
Well, you know what? I think that
I think the other ones had a lot
being
more
directed and coming out, which I mean, honestly, there was a lot more other Halloween movies that I liked, but
right.
I think if I'm being realistic, this movie was a lot about Laurie Strode bitching, complaining, and is very whiny.
Mm-hmm. There was the one part in the hospital is very annoying. I just really didn't like her just fucking whining and complaining, talking to, I think it was the cop who got hurt too when they were both in the hospital.
That was Halloween Kills.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. You
Yeah.
right. I didn't like that part.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it was, I'm not saying it wasn't a good movie. It was a very good movie. I love all the Halloween movies. They will always be one of my favorite series of movies. I don't know, this one, it's not that it was a bad movie. Like I said, I mean, it made the list. So
it made the top 50. So
yeah, it made the top 50, so it was clearly good enough to make it, because there was actually a couple of them, and like I said, we might get to them, that I was actually going to do a top 60 or a top 75, but we already had agreed on just doing a top 50, so I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Because there was actually a few other movies that after I was looking at, I was like, God damn it, like, man, I really want to put this on here, but I was like, yeah, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
So, the next one is actually, I don't know if you've ever seen this.
Yeah, I did.
You have seen this?
Mm-hmm.
It is a fantastic movie, and it is a Rob Zombie movie, which I am a huge fan of Rob Zombie's movies.
Yes.
and it is 31.
Yes. So 31 was first announced in May of 2014. A teaser poster that showed the words "a Rob Zombie film," a bloody clown face, and the number 31. Fans and media outlets speculated that the film would be a third film in the House of a Thousand Corpse and Devil Rejects universe and would follow Sid Haig's character, Captain Spaulding, and it could be a film centering upon a serial killer, John Wayne Gacy, or that it would be a third film in Zombie's rebooted Halloween film. However, it wasn't. It was a complete
Oh, it was like its own
original
movie. Yeah.
It wasn't part of any other.
It was fucking
universes
awesome
that he
though.
created.
Honestly, So, I've asked a few people because, like I said, I would have to say between like Rob Zombie and Quentin Tarantino, probably my top two favorite directors when it comes to movies. And
Right.
Rob Zombie is one of my absolute favorite musicians. So like he is just like he's my spirit animal. I fucking love Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Anytime he comes into town, I have to go to his concerts because he just puts on one hell of a show. He's just an amazing dude. He's so fucking talented. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
With directing, musically, entertainment-wise, like he is like the full fucking package.
Yeah.
So
I'm not showing anything as far as like information as far as if it was nominated for any awards or anything
probably
like that.
not, because like I said, there's not a whole lot of people. There's not a whole lot of people that I had talked to that have ever actually seen this movie. I only came across like a couple people who actually watched it.
Well,
No, I'm not
I
saying
I watched it because I'm also a Rob fan.
right.
Rob
I'm not saying that there hasn't been a shitload of people to watch this movie, because I'm sure there is. But like around here, there's a few.
So it takes place in like a carnival style. Like
It's like I think it's like an abandoned.
circus or something.
I don't know if it's I don't think it's like a circus. I think it's more like a warehouse meat packing. I remember in the one area, I'm pretty sure they're going through like stalls to where you would bring like cattle through. So I do remember that part.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't. Yeah, I was gonna say I actually haven't
while.
watched this one in a while. I actually have it on
I
DVD.
think I watched it when it first came out in 2016, and then
I'm gonna have to
watched
go
it
home and
since.
rewatch it now.
Yeah. It didn't do very well on Metacritic, Rotten Tomatoes, or IMDb, but I think that's just because it's a cult movie, and cult movies really don't
Listen, I don't take.
do 100%. My biggest thing mostly is I'm pretty sure that I could be wrong, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that a good portion of Rob Zombie movies are paid for out of his own pocket, especially when
probably.
it comes to like ideas that nobody probably would fund.
I guarantee it. Because he's like, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna fucking do this movie because I think it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah.
And my true fans and followers will more than likely also like it.
Right.
I can honestly say there hasn't been a movie I haven't seen of his that I haven't liked.
Moving on. Number 46, we got Paranormal Activity.
Fuck this movie.
I was obsessed with all these movies.
I didn't
when
like
the
any
first
of them.
one came out, 2007. Me and Haley went to go see it. I know you don't like the whole. Why don't you like it? I'm
I don't know. It
genuinely
just freaks
with
me
it.
out.
Is it?
Yeah,
is
it really
okay,
does. It
that's
just freaks
fair.
me out. I don't like it.
That's fair.
If we're being completely honest, I've watched the first one and the second one. I never watched the third one. I will realistically watch like The Exorcist and Paranormal Activity. If somebody's like, I really want to watch it, I'll be like, all right, fuck. I'll more than likely just play on my phone the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's not that I have a problem with
So-
watching the movies. I would just prefer not to. I just don't like them.
Paranormal Activity 1 through 4 are great. I mean, I know you don't prefer those types
Right.
of movies, but
The the only part that
they
freaked
made 6 of them, and the last 2 are fucking dumb. I can't stand them.
The only part that freaked me out in the first one was when she threw the dude at the camera. It was either the first one or the second one. I don't know.
Yeah, it was at the end of the first one.
She threw the dude at the camera, and then she just stared into it with the fucking weird eyes. And I was like, I don't like that. I don't want to watch that.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. That was the only part that really, like, realistically freaked me out. Like, snatching somebody out of bed, shit like that. Like, that doesn't bother me. Whatever.
Yeah. Paranormal Activity, released in 2007. It follows the weird ongoings of Katie and Micah's house as a demon entity seemingly grows power and torments them. The movie became a massive success, soon kicked off a long-running franchise that dethroned the Saw series at the box office.
No shit.
Wow. Paranormal Activity was also correct in indicating that such activity is very often centers an individual rather than a place. So more than likely, obviously, demonic possessions are more than likely following people rather than the place that you're in. So good thing to think about whenever you guys go out there and ghost hunt.
Right.
So it did win the Teen Choice Award for horror thriller movie back in 2010.
Horror. I'm just going to let you guys know I'm going to say that at least 20 more times throughout this podcast.
And was nominated for an MTV Movie and People's Choice Awards. So good stuff. I liked it.
Good soup.
They actually, a lot of the actors kept their regular names. Like if you actually look up the cast, so Katie was played by Katie Featherston, and Micah was played by Micah Sloat. Mark Fredericks was played Dr. Fredericks. So if you actually look at it, like I think that it's kind of interesting that they let their actors keep the same names, just so, because I mean, if you watch it, it doesn't seem like they are very. It doesn't seem like they were 5-star actors. Like, it definitely seemed like a B-rated movie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna check. So the budget was $15,000.
That's it.
$15,000 was
That's
the budget.
crazy. And how much did they make?
After post-production, whenever they were done editing and everything and putting all the movements and shit in it, it was $215,000. It made $193.4 million.
I'd say that was a success.
Off of a $215,000 budget.
Right.
They paid that loan off.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. So those of you that have money in the savings, go make a movie. You never know.
I would love to make a movie. I think we could.
I think we could.
Number 45 is Puppet Master.
The thing freaks me out.
Dude, I will say it was it was one of the movies that I used to. Okay, so I used to watch a lot of these movies when I was like a kid.
Yeah,
Like,
isn't there like 17 of these?
yeah. Oh, I don't know.
12.
Is there?
There's 12.
Like the original Puppet Master is the one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like this first one right here.
Yeah, but that's the Puppet Master. So, oh no, it says so the original collection is 9 movies. The Blu-ray complete box set is 12. So I'm gonna guess that that's probably like extras or maybe like
Something.
Could be spin-offs.
I was gonna say maybe a couple spin-offs. Yeah, it was a really it was fucking weird. I will say that. I don't know if anybody has ever actually watched The Puppet Master. Like I said, I used to watch all these movies when I was like a preteen.
Yeah.
Because they were just cool. Some of them freaked me out, but now I appreciate most of the horror genre.
Yeah.
Horror.
So this was this came out in 1989. So that's not an old movie, but I mean it's old. So.
Not super old, but that's right. That's right around that 80s.
Puppet Master is the main antagonist of Prodigy. At the beginning of Puppet Master, scatters 5 of the Warden Keystones, but he thinks that he destroyed them. This itself wouldn't be so bad except for 2 things. What are the 2 things? Why do you do this to me? Stop it.
Well, I guess you'll just have to watch the movie to find out what the 2 things are.
I'm not watching that shit. Dude, look how freaky that thing is.
I know. We should. I haven't
don't
watched this
like
movie in
that.
forever.
Did you say we should watch this movie?
Yeah.
All right, you make me watch this. I'll make you watch Paranormal Activity.
All right, that's fair. I accept this.
Oh, okay. You accept. I was like, so that's either a no. Or
I accept it. I'll watch it.
Okay. Anything else to say? Yeah, I mean, you got to take the reins on this one. Like I said, I never.
Honestly, it was just really good. Like the puppets were just. I can't remember the main puppet's name, but he had the white face, wore like the black overcoat, black hat, had the knife. He was just fucking cool. There was another bigger like puppet. I can't remember what the fuck. I can't remember their names, and I probably should have looked them up. But
Yeah.
it was they were just cool. I don't know. It was just weird. It was a very weird take on a horror film, but it worked. It was just it was cool. I don't know. I liked it. Well, I recommend it.
It's more so like that. Like that 80s cult classic.
Yeah. Oh, it was definitely
almost like B movie style. Yeah.
It was definitely one of those. So I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Let's see here. So the next one up is number
I think 40.
44.
44. Yeah.
Number 44, this movie freaks a lot of people that I know out, counting my wife. You mentioned Sean.
Sean doesn't like it. Sean doesn't like the noise.
Yeah. So
It's The Grudge.
The Grudge is number 44. The Grudge and The Ring are responsible for the biggest uptick in Japanese-style horror-made American audiences, and still holds up to its the most terrifying films. They did remake The Grudge in 2020. I don't know if my wife watched it or she refuses to watch it.
Probably refused.
She likes to watch them. She just doesn't like it.
She
It freaks her out.
them out. Freaks her out. Honestly, I didn't like either one of them. I didn't like The Grudge or The Ring. They didn't freak me out.
No.
Yeah, like the noise doesn't freak me out. I thought they were stupid.
The Grudge could have been something much more than just another notch in its never-ending franchise. The Grudge's first new movie to open nationwide this year was scorned by audience and critics alike, who branded the reboot as an F Cinema score and a rotten 18% on Rotten Tomatoes. So apparently the reboot did horrible, which doesn't surprise me.
No.
You really have to do something to capture a reboot to make it good, you know.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like Halloween.
Yeah.
Like Halloween, they did a very good job with the...
And I think the reason why that was the way it was because of Danny McBride. He's a great fucking director.
He might be a great director, but as an actor, I think he sucks.
Well, that's just because of the group of people that he usually acts with.
I don't think he's a good actor. I think he's a shit
Danny
actor.
McBride?
No. I think he's a shit actor. He's a
So-
great... He's a very good director.
So you're saying that he should just stick to his
He should
directing.
stick to directing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a good actor.
I like Danny McBride. He's got that dry humor. I'm a big fan of dry humor.
Listen, I
We'll
don't
do
mind...
comedies too. For
I
you
don't
guys, but-
mind the dry humor to a point, but it's not... Like, I don't find it as funny.
Yeah.
But my kind of humor is the more vulgar, where most people who like the dry humor don't really like the vulgar humor.
I love all of it.
Well,
Humor's humor for me.
you love... Right.
I'm a special breed.
You're a special breed. Listen, I like most of it. I do like some of the dry humor, but I don't like all of it. I think some of it's boring.
Number 43 is Friday the 13th, Part 1.
So the reason that I actually put Part 1 the furthest down, even though it starts off kind of, telling the story of Jason Voorhees, is because that Jason isn't even the killer. It's his mom.
That's what I was going to say. So that's actually why it wasn't on my list. And the reason why number 2 was, and you'll see where that is on our list soon. But we watched that. Remember that thing we got obsessed with for a while that did all the horror movies?
And
it was
honestly,
like showing
did they
you the
make any
back.
more of them? Because I would really like to catch up on if they made any more of them.
I think so. But even the production of this movie was kind of catty.
I mean, realistically, the production of most of these movies were not great,
but
because
Halloween
it was back
though.
it was back in the 80s.
Like, well, what I'm saying is like the behind the scenes and everything like that. Like a lot of these movies, if you guys haven't checked it out, I forget what the name of it is, but it's on Netflix, and it's a show that basically shows how the I think it was how they were made.
I think it actually was called something like that, like how they were made.
Or the movies we grew up with, or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I think it was, the movies we grew up with.
A lot of these movies, like, had start and stops of production, and, like, months apart.
Yeah.
And they're, like, literally, like, they were like, we ran out of money, everybody has to go home.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, I don't know, we don't know.
We don't even know if we're going to be able to finish the fucking movie.
Yeah, we can't get this
until they found,
greenlighted.
like, someone else that was like, yeah, okay, I'll give you this much money, but you gotta try finishing it with just this much.
Right. So, Metacritic score 22 out of 100, 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb, and a 63% good tomato on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's not a bad movie. It's a very, I love, this is,
obviously it was
so
started
this
by
is
a very
my
high, big franchise.
yeah, this
So you
is
can't
my favorite.
Roll it out.
Yeah, this is my absolute favorite franchise. Is the Friday the 13th franchise. So, spoiler alert.
Those of you that don't know, the killer is Jason, except for this movie.
Jason Voorhees is the killer in Friday the 13th, except for the first one. It's his mother, Pamela Voorhees.
And you would know that if you watch Scream. Anyway. Good movie.
Oh, it's a very good movie. The kill scenes in it are awesome. I think the best one in that one.
As they progressed throughout the franchise, they got more gory.
Yeah, they got more gory and more extensive. Well, I mean, they made fucking like 12 of these movies. They had to do something.
Yeah. Couldn't just make the same movie.
Yeah, like you can't just do the same shit over and over. I mean, realistically, it was the same shit, but the kills were better. Yeah, this one was definitely my least favorite, being that Jason wasn't even in it.
And he was portrayed as it, but that's the biggest thing too. Is like you never see him.
Yeah.
In it, so. What was his name? Mother's name?
Pamela Voorhees.
Pamela Voorhees. All right, moving on to number 42. We have,
which this actually is not one of my favorite series. I appreciate it just because of his fucking sarcastic ass, but Child's Play 2 is number 42, I think.
Yeah, number 42. So Child's Play 2 follows Mr. Charles Lee Ray, Chucky the Doll. All of you love him, all of you hate him. It came out in 1990. Directed
when Justin was.
It's
the year Justin was born.
Yeah, it's obviously the direct sequel to Child's Play. Directed by John LaFia. Listen, if you guys must know, Brad Dourif as the voice of Chucky, phenomenal. I love Brad Dourif. I love his work. We were literally just talking about him.
Yeah, we were. He is actually a really good actor.
He's in many other movies other than just the voice of Chucky. That's just his iconic role. He did play Sheriff Brackett in the Rob Zombie remake,
of Halloween, the first and second one.
So it's kind of funny that he played Sheriff Brackett, and then the girl that played, what's her name in Halloween 4 and 5, the little girl.
How much for the little girl? How much for the little girl? Jamie.
So the girl that played Jamie was Brackett's daughter that got killed in the Rob Zombie remake too. So of Halloween. So it's kind of cool that they pulled them from. Yeah. Well, kept her from the franchise, just moved her to a different role and pulled another iconic. I mean, it was a big budget.
I like when that
had to be a big budget. Rob Zombie was deep in his pockets on that one.
I guarantee that if he didn't get some kind of backing,
a high-paid cast.
Yeah.
He had to.
If he didn't get some kind of backing for that, I guarantee he was deep into that. But I guarantee that he would have done it willingly because of the movie that it is, the franchise that it was.
Yeah. So Child's Play 2, obviously the direct sequel. I like Child's Play 2. I like all of them. I followed them all pretty well. I do not like the new Child's Play. The new Child's Play that stars Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill, you are a good actor, one of the best voices as Joker, and you did a really good voice for Chucky. I just, even though I like the spin that it was a whole technical glitch, as far as some evil chip being put in a doll, and now he controls all cell phones and like electric cars and shit like that. That's freaky, and
I don't like that.
As cool and weird as it is, I think that it was a flop, and the only reason why I say that is because they returned to Brad Dourif and started making the TV show. So, from this point forward, it's a race Chucky to perform his soul swapping ritual on Andy so he can get out of the doll. The second film in the series, the first film produced by Universal Pictures. A budget of $13 million, made $35.8, $44 million the last time. Then the first. So the cool thing about number 2 is that I like the way that they fuck Chucky up in the end of the movie when he's in the toy factory. And it just, like, puts a bunch of arms and shit inside of him. And he's got, like, 30 arms and fucking feet in the back and stuff. And then they just drop him in the pool of fucking molten plastic. So
it's a good time.
It's a good one.
It's not
also,
a bad movie.
The Child's Play movies are also very gory.
They are. Honestly,
They're
the
gory.
Child's Play, they have, I will give that to Child's Play, the whole, franchise itself. They come up with some pretty wicked fucking kill scenes, and they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I will give them that, because he is very fucking creative.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Number 41.
This is actually one of my... I would honestly, it's probably one of my all-time favorites. It would have been a little higher, but like I said, pretty much like the first 25 that we're gonna go through from 50 to 25 are just ones that are from either my list or Drew's list.
Yeah.
And then once we get to I think it was the top 20 is when we will start with we had both of these on our list.
Yeah.
So this one is actually one of my favorites.
I will say,
and
before
it's,
we move on,
Leprechaun.
Yeah, Leprechaun. So I have seen these movies. I've seen all of them. I don't think Haley has watched these.
Really?
Yeah. See, I didn't put it on my list only because it's not in my top 50, but I do like the movies.
Oh, I think they're fucking fantastic movies.
Good movies.
The Leprechaun Goes to the Hood, that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
The original, the first one is absolutely my favorite. Jennifer Aniston plays in it. It's just a really good movie. He's a creepy
very
little fucker.
creepy. Yeah.
He is. I sure as fuck wouldn't want to fuck with him though. That's for damn sure. It's just it's a very good movie. Obviously, if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. It's about a leprechaun and the special. There's a guy in there that's like a special needs guy, and he paints with a kid and his older brother. They have their own construction business, stuff like that, and they're working on the house of Jennifer Aniston, and her father moved to this town, and they they end up getting this place, but it was owned by an old Irishman, and the leprechaun comes and because the Irishman stole his gold and stuff like that, and he ends up locking him in a box, and like I said, it's a really cool movie. You just gotta watch it.
The actor that plays Leprechaun is Warwick Davis, who is a man with dwarfism.
Yeah. He's a fantastic actor, though.
He's in many other movies.
Yes, he is. And he is a fantastic actor.
He's a great actor. And it says, in makeup, Davis is quite evil looking, and like most good actors facing similar challenges, imbues a weak character with a strong presence. The movie is interesting. I lost my place. You motherfucker. Warwick's nasty amphetamine-driven portrayal of the said creature. He's best known for playing the title of Ron Howard's Willow and gives it all, but probably wishes he could have used some of his magic powers to improve Mark Jones' script, which was a major continuity and credibility problem. So Mark Jones apparently isn't a very good writer.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
Oh no, they were all really good movies. I think.
Yeah.
I would check them all.
I
out. There's like
wonder-
6 of them.
I wonder if he did all of them, if Mark Jones directed all of them, or if they moved to someone else. The budget was $900,000. It doesn't tell me exactly how much it made, and I'm not going to go looking because this is getting a little longer than expected. So we're just going to move on to the next one, which is number 40, Return of the Living Dead.
So, I was gonna put The Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Because that is literally a fucking classic, and it was made, actually in around our hometown.
Yeah.
But the Night of the the Return of the Living Dead, I just think it was. I don't know. I think it was not only
George Romero didn't do this, though. It was Dan
freakier
O'Brien-
because like
Dan O'Bannon.
even like when you like in this one, even when you like cut their heads off or hit them in the head or something like that, like they didn't die. Like you couldn't kill them.
Yeah, they were actually like undead.
Yeah, they were like undead. Like there was no killing them. So I think that really was like one of the best zombie movies that was made because it was like you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like
So
you can't do shit.
directed by Dan O'Bannon. This movie came out in 1985. The Return of the Living Dead. The zombies were the first to sprint after their prey, thus giving them more of an edge. I think that was the first zombie movie where they were a lot more active and not like Brain Dead style.
They actually ran.
Yeah. Real Gone has a limited vinyl reissue of the soundtrack to 1985's Return of the Living Dead. Romero and John Russo wrote the 1968 classic A Night of the Living Dead, and I did know that.
Which I will
George
give
Romero,
that up.
yeah, George Romero was a good director. and
I will
writer.
give that an honorable mention. I think that will that's definitely one of my favorite classics.
Right.
Is the original Night of the Living Dead.
Good movie. We got a 66 out of 100 Metacritic score with a 7.3 on IMDb. 91 Golden Tomato out of Rotten Tomatoes. So good job on that. Yeah. Number
39.
39. Cult classic here. Cult classic.
Very big cult classic. It's Pet Sematary.
Mm-hmm. Came out in
This
1989.
So this movie was the first one that actually, through one of the scenes, fucking just terrified me of walking down steps.
Yeah.
When the little boy cuts the dude's Achilles tendon. Like actually freaked me the fuck out for a little while. Like I wouldn't walk down steps that had an open back.
So this is one movie that many critics have said that it was a great film and it was even better than the book. It's been a kind of story where it isn't much where you can leave out and there's not a whole lot you can change. However, in the 2019 remake, Church repeatedly shows up to terrify and threaten the Creed family all the way to the end. Literally, he's front and center during every last shot of the film. Pet Sematary grossed $54.7 million in the United States and Canada and $57.7 in other territories. A worldwide total of $112.4 million against a production budget of $21 million. So nice return, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Haley's dad can't watch this movie.
No.
Mm-mm. She told me that it's one movie that he will refuse to watch. If you put it on, he will leave.
I mean,
He doesn't like it. I don't know if it freaks him out, like mainly like the kid.
listen, kids.
Or
I will say,
it kind of looks like Elijah.
kids in horror movies, yes, it fucking
Dude.
does. Yeah, that's creepy.
Oh, whoops! Didn't mean to do that.
Kids in horror movies are creepy as shit.
Yeah. Or I don't know if it's the fact that the kid gets killed by a semi truck and that's how he dies. I don't know what the whole reason behind it, but I think Haley might be able to tell you. 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb, 53 Rotten Tomatoes. It's considered rotten. Fuck you. It was a good movie. 38 out of 100 Metacritic, so there's that.
Did you guys eat the chips?
No.
Huh?
What chips?
The chips.
No. No.
Where are they?
I.
Well, your daughter.
1 second. Anyway, we're back. Number. Let's see where we were at here. Number 38, Poltergeist.
Actually, pretty good. This was actually one of my mom's favorites.
Yeah. It came out in 1982.
Oh yeah, this is an old one.
Yeah. Originally supposed to be. It was originally supposed to feature evil aliens instead of evil ghosts, and was initially titled Night Skies. For those of you who need to catching up, the idea is that some Hollywood movies are cursed by ghosts, demons, and the devil himself, and is a common creepy conspiracy theory throughout Hollywood. One of the most famous theories is that the Poltergeist movies are cursed because of the string of cast members' deaths that occurred while they were being made. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I knew that.
This has won a BAFTA award for Best Special Visual Effects, and then nominated for 2 Academy Awards and 1 British Academy Award. So
Well, they were good movies. I would definitely give them a watch.
yeah,
especially the first one.
little girl, she's a little creepy. And once again,
She's
it's
a little
going
creepy.
back to that kid.
Yeah,
thing,
going back to that kid thing, dude. I'm telling you, kids in horror.
And I
films.
think that's why they do so well.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely.
Poltergeist was a good series. I did only really like the first one.
Yeah.
The
other ones were really weird.
Yeah.
Just like they weren't. I didn't think they were that good. The first one I think was the best. Other than that, they were just, I don't know. I just really didn't even like the other ones, to be honest.
Yeah. First one did well though.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
The first one was really good. I would at least give the first one a try. Watch, like if you get into it, like watch the second and third. I don't know how many there were. I think there was only 3.
Yeah, I think there were 3 of them.
Like definitely give them a chance. At least the first one. Give the first one a chance because it was actually a pretty good movie.
Number 37, Friday the 13th, Part 5.
Also, like I said, there's my favorite franchise.
Yeah.
The reason I put this as at 37 is because this is actually another one to where Jason actually is not in it. It is the killer is actually played by the because this is New Beginning, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And it is played by the kid who gets killed at the camp's father. Ends up.
Yeah. So the New Beginning, a
to be
clever
Jason.
title, basically sets up Tommy as the next killer for the franchise. Released in 1985, to both critical and fan disgust, the 5th franchise installment, Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, saw Jason replaced by Roy Burns, a copycat killer who was inspired by Jason. So basically, by fan and critics, the movie sucked.
I didn't think it sucked.
Compared to, well, probably the worst out of the franchise up to that point is what I'm getting.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely not one of the better ones. There's a couple good kill scenes in there that I think saved it. As far as, him being a copycat killer and stuff like that, I thought that was kind of stupid. But Tommy Jarvis, I think, is a very cool part of the one before this one, and the one after it. I think it's kind of cool to see the timeline of Tommy Jarvis, which is why I really like these three movies. Even though Jason isn't in this one, it's still really cool. It's a definitely a good it's a good like middle, like to see how he goes from being a kid in the previous one to being like a young adult.
Developmental movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that got an 18% Rotten Tomatoes as rotten, 16 out of 100 Metacritic score with a 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb. So IMDb gave it a pretty good half score.
Like I said,
so
if it's not one of the best ones, but it is. I would watch, like, if you're gonna watch the entire series, obviously start at the beginning because it's really good. But if you want to watch the like Tommy Jarvis series, little like mini series within the series, start with number 4 because that's where he starts in, and then watch at least 5 and 6.
So number 36 is Jason Lives, which is Friday the 13th, part 6.
Right, and this is the one where Tommy Jarvis gets out of the mental institution and goes to finish Jason off.
Yeah.
And ends up bringing him back to life, goes to the police, tells them, obviously they don't believe him. They end up changing the name from Camp Crystal Lake to like Camp Forest Green.
Yeah.
And they actually open the camp back up again for like kids and stuff. This was actually one of the only ones that actually had like children.
Yeah. While the movie features a lot of machete killing mayhem, the best kill comes from an officer getting a metal dart thrown into his skull.
That was a good one.
Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives is also known as Jason Lives. Friday the 13th, Part 6 is a 1986 slasher film, which is the 5th sequel to the original Friday the 13th. Jason Lives opened in August 1st, 1986. In 1,610 theaters and grossed 6.7 million in its opening weekend, ranking number 2 at the U.S. box office. So, yeah, not bad. I think people probably went to see it because it was another installment of Friday the 13th, and it probably just lived up to its name, and it obviously did better than 5.
It was. I
6
think
out
it
of
was.
10.
I think it was better than 5, to be honest.
Yeah, 6 out of 10 on IMDb, 50% Rotten Tomatoes, and a 30 out of 100 Metacritic. Not terrible. Moving on to number 35, we have Candyman now. Is Candyman the original or the remake?
The original.
That's what I had on mine too. So we just recently watched the remake that came out this past year in 2021. And it was good. It was basically an origin story to the original movie in 1992.
Oh, you were talking about the.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I really couldn't hear what was going on.
Candyman is an urban legend that tells the scary story of a murdered slave who returns from the dead to search for revenge if you say his name 5 times. Candyman grew up in a well-schooled and comfortable and was a prodigious artist who was in high demand among the wealthy to paint their portraits. Candyman was played by Tony Todd. Love Tony Todd. Really, really good actor. And supposedly a urban legend, but when people in the community start being brutally killed, we discover that Candyman is much more than just a made-up ghost. Creepy, freaky stuff.
It actually was a pretty creepy movie, and I think that's what I appreciate about it, because it did have that creepy factor.
I like it because, not to get too much this way, but it was really the only movie I know where the main antagonist was a black man, and it kind of gives you a different perspective on a the word I'm searching for, on a culture level.
Yeah.
The differences. I mean, when it all really kind of boils down, you can just see how differently mental health and basically all the way to a psychotic killer grows into about pretty much the same thing. It's a fucking psychotic killer, but culturally different on what drives each person mad. So, very good movie. I do recommend it. I also recommend you watch the remake, which
I would say
wouldn't call it a remake.
No, I honestly, because we literally just watched.
Yeah, literally like the other day.
It was like yesterday or the day before. We just watched the new one,
Mm-hmm.
and I would consider that more of an origins.
Yeah.
Even though it's like,
A newer movie.
it's a newer movie and it takes place in like in modern
day,
time.
Yeah.
I would still consider it an origin story because it really like centers around like how
Right.
Candyman became Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would recommend watching it, but watch the old one first and then watch the new one if you're gonna do that. I think you'll get the full effect of it if you do that.
Yeah. Number 34, Final Destination 2.
All right, so
There-
for this
there's
one, and we
6 of
realistically we
these.
could do 34 and 33 at the same time.
Yeah, why
The
not?
reason that we're gonna do that is because 34 is Final Destination 2 and 33 is Final Destination, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Final Destination 2 is actually my favorite one of the series, and Final Destination, the first one, is Drew's favorite. So we
Yeah.
we both had Final Destination on there. We just like different installments of it. The reason I like the second one, the most brutal thing that I have ever seen in a film is when that fucking fence gets blown up and chops that dude in 3.
Oh, yeah.
That is by far
Right.
the most
So-
craziest kill.
Final Destination 2 is a sequel to the 2000 film Final Destination and the second installment of the Final Destination film series. The Final Destination series is somewhat a notable along the horror fans that there are currently no survivors, with the exception of Kimberly Coolman and Thomas Burke from Final Destination 2. So yes, usually these movies never have any survivors of the
Which is
original
also
cast
another-
whenever death creeps upon them. So
Yeah, which also is another reason why I appreciate this series, because instead of always having that lone survivor or like
Yeah.
2 survivors, for the most part, there's fucking nobody left.
right.
So that kind of took a real good spin and didn't give you that satisfaction at the end because you were like, well, the killer died.
Yeah.
Well, you can't kill death.
Right. So basically, if you've never seen them, Final Destination is
I think there's
it's-
actually like 6 installments of it.
yeah. So it's based around Death's plan. So Death, obviously, we all have a fate.
Everybody.
this
Spoiler
is-
alert, everyone
Yeah.
dies at some point.
This movie basically shows that fate to one individual in the movie as far as a premonition, and then they do an act of God to themselves where they cheat death, but notably death won't stop coming for you basically because you ruined its plan, and it'll continue to try to
Kill you.
carry out your fate. Final Destination 2 is the reason why I will not drive behind a semi-truck with
Yeah.
a fucking trees on it.
Yep. Every time. So I live next to a lumber yard. So I actually see them pretty fucking regularly. And anytime that I am coming up even near it, I inspect it from my vehicle and then I haul the fuck ass past it. Because this movie has traumatized me from driving behind log trucks.
Yeah.
Realistically, any truck that has anything on it, I don't fucking stay behind it. I'm like, no, I'm out.
Biggest thing I have to say about the Final Destination series, if you guys want to check them out, is that they have some of the most notably crazy kills.
Oh, and they're so
Their
fucking
death
gory.
scenes are just
They're ridiculous.
immaculate. I
Yeah,
don't
they're
remember which one it
fantastic.
is. I think it might be the fourth one. It's either the third or the fourth
Josh
one. Or
and
it
I
could be the
just-
second one.
Josh and I
Whenever
just
they're
watched all
sitting-
these like a
whenever
couple
they're-
months ago.
Yeah. Whenever that dude's sitting in the drive-thru and the truck comes
Yeah.
down and rear ends him and the motor comes out and starts chopping up the back of his head because he's in a
Mhm.
convertible. Oh, man. I don't remember which one that was, but
I
a
don't
lot
remember
of
which one it
these-
was either, but it was fucking crazy.
yeah. The third one was the one where they go to the amusement park.
Yeah.
That one freaked me out.
I wouldn't
Because
ride roller coasters for a little while.
When that came out, I watched it that night that it came out on DVD because I made my mom go to Family Video and rent it.
Mhm.
And the next day was the day that I was going to Six Flags with Haley and her dad. And it was the first time ever I rode a roller coaster. Tell me how fucked up my life is.
Yeah.
I decided to watch it that night. I didn't even know what it was about, but I watched the first two. And so I started watching the third one, and that's how that all started, was in the third one. And I'm like, fucking great. And tomorrow I'm going to ride roller coasters. This
Yeah.
is fantastic.
That's super.
So, yeah, 34 was Final Destination 2, 33 Final Destination 1. 32 is Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter.
This is actually the first one that brings Tommy Jarvis into it. He's a kid that lives in a cabin with his sister and his mother. And a bunch of teenagers come, like most of the, like, you know, camp counselors and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They come, and Jason, he gets brought back somehow. I don't remember exactly how he gets, or no, he survived from the first two and second and third one. He survived like the onslaught of the shit that happens with, you know, the survivor and stuff like that. But this was actually a really cool one. I really actually did like this one. A couple of the kill scenes were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the ending is actually really fucking crazy because Tommy Jarvis ends up fucking like hacking the motherfucker, hacking
Yeah.
Jason up. It was a really cool,
So
which is actually this one. This one explains why in the fifth one, Tommy Jarvis was in like a nut house,
Mm-hmm.
and then ends up going because of the traumatic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm mute today apparently. The trauma that he sustained as a child.
Yeah, so it says, no, it's not the final movie in the series, but it's the end of a particular era for Jason. And it's a good way to go out and come to for a new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So, good stuff.
Yeah, it was actually a really good chapter in the series.
33
I
from
personally-
Metacritic, 19% from
I personally
Rotten Tomatoes, and a 5.9 on
love
IMDb.
all of the Friday the 13th movies. I think it's a fantastic franchise.
Yeah. Number 31, Amityville Horror.
This one is actually another one of my mom loved Amityville Horror, Poltergeist, and The Exorcist, which
Mhm.
I fucking hate The Exorcist.
The Amityville Horror is obviously based on a true story. A house in Amityville, New York. It's the basis of all the films that came out. The first one came out in 1979. The one that is on my list is the one that came out in 2005 that stars Mr. Ryan Reynolds.
Phenomenal fucking actor.
And
He's just a good fucking human being, dude.
it's obviously not the origin story of the Amityville Horror where it takes place. What did I just read? Oh, okay. It takes place of a family that moves into the house, and the house is obviously haunted from Ronald DeFeo, who killed his 6 members of his family, which was his parents and his 4 siblings. Whenever this movie came out, I didn't know anything of it prior because I never even watched the movie from the 70s.
Oh, I did. That was my mom's favorite. Was the original.
But after this movie came out, I dug deep into a rabbit hole of reading all about the history of this. It's fucking crazy. You can get very deep and down in a rabbit hole about this place. I don't know if it's still opened up now, but I know for a while it was opened up for tours and stuff, and you could actually stay the night in it if you wanted to, but I don't recommend.
Don't recommend it.
So, good movie. I fucking love this movie. If you like, I also liked quite a few of the remakes.
I actually haven't seen this one. I would like to watch this one.
The one with Ryan Reynolds?
I've never watched
it's a
that
good
one.
fucking movie.
I watched the original one.
And the remake is a good movie. So the remake has Chloe Grace in it, the girl that you know who Chloe Grace is. I bet
Probably to see her, I'm sure.
she plays the little girl. I don't know, that actually might be in this one. Yeah, no, I'm stupid. That's in this one. You'll have to watch this one and the most recent one. The most recent one's fucked up too.
We'll have to watch it. We'll make a day of it.
Amityville Horror, watch that. We are up to number 30. We'll do 30 and 29
Yeah,
together.
I was gonna
It's
say,
Jeepers
we're gonna-
Creepers 1 and 2.
Yeah, so 30 is Jeepers Creepers 2, and 29 is the first Jeepers Creepers.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I love these films, I still haven't watched the third one, and I know you and Haley said it was stupid, but I still want to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the new one that they're supposed to be coming out with.
Yeah.
I liked these movies because it was a villain who just really kind of took a different turn.
It's a big original idea.
Yeah,
something
it was something that you've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
It was just an original idea. It was well thought out. Like, I just thought it was a fantastic series, and I'm very upset that a few, like you and Haley and a few people, said that the third one was actually not that good, and I haven't seen it, but I've also heard from a few people that it was good. So I'm like, now I have to fucking watch it
to get
my own opinion on it.
Yeah.
But the second one is actually I love the first one because I love Justin Long. He's a very good actor. I like a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
But the second one was my favorite just because it was a lot crazier. Because the second one is high school football team.
Yeah. So it says, in Jeepers Creepers 2, a farmer and some teenagers fight back against a winged demonic creature trying to eat them. Jeepers Creepers 2 has some of very exciting action sequences, but its most positive morale qualities are married by the excessive foul language, violence, gruesome moments, and the occult situation. The Bannon Bantams were a high school basketball team and the main focus of the film Jeepers Creepers 2. The bus driver, coaches, and many basketball players fell victim to the creeper.
Was it it wasn't a basketball team. I thought it was a football team.
It was a basketball team.
I'm pretty sure it was a football team.
This would know.
I mean, it would, but I could have sworn it was a football team.
The second one was good. I liked the first one more for my own reasons. I did recently read a meme that made me die laughing. It said, I don't know if I sent it to you, but this might make you laugh if you haven't heard it, but it said, how the hell did not only the creeper get a driver's license and buy a truck, but also get a personalized license plate?
Right.
This motherfucker just walking in.
Just walks in. Well, realistically, that motherfucker walks in. I'd be like, dude, you got whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit.
Take it. You got it.
You got it. If you've never watched these movies, no, he doesn't talk.
So how would he pick his license plate out? Maybe he wrote it down.
Maybe. I don't know, but I do know that if you haven't seen these movies, this is one of the ones that I would absolutely recommend watching because it is a fantastic series.
Good stuff. Number 1 and 2 were good. Number 3, I didn't care for it, but I mean, give it a chance. And we got number 4 coming out soon. And we'll move on to number 28.
Number 28 is 2001 Maniacs. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. It's with Robert Englund.
No.
So it's about a Confederate town, like a southern town, and these people go to it. And it's actually a ghost town, like it doesn't exist, but these people end up going to it, and it shows that it's still a town, and all these ghosts come back, and they're like real people, and they're, you know, these tourists are coming in and they're having a good time, and then they just start fucking dying off
Yeah.
because they start killing them. There's a couple gruesome fucking kills in this movie.
Yeah. So it says a direct-to-video sequel entitled 2001 Maniacs Field of Screams, which replaces Robert Englund with Bill Moseley. So there was a second one too.
Oh, I did not know there was a second one. Bill Moseley's a fucking awesome actor.
Yeah, that came out in 2010. This one came out in 2005.
Who directed that one?
It seems like it's all the same.
Yeah. Because Bill Moseley does a lot of
so it's
Rob
called,
Zombie's movies.
It's called Field of Screams. So
I'm going to have to watch that one.
yeah. A plaque reveals that the town's residents will not rest until a crime has been paid back. 2001 villagers were killed. 2001 Northerns must be killed, an eye for an eye.
It was a very good movie.
Okay.
It was weird.
I'll have to check it out.
Dude, you have to watch
I'm
it.
an Englund fan, so.
It was a very, very good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Number 27
is Child's Play.
The first one, the original Child's Play.
This gives us an insight of how Chucky came to be. Basically, opens up the story of what happened. Charles Lee Ray was killed in a shootout with a police officer inside a toy store. Used his own personal beliefs of voodoo magic to pass along his soul into a different being, so to speak, which was a doll, a good guy doll, which was very popular in the 80s as per the show. I don't think the good guy doll actually ever existed, but there is speculation that there was a version of a good guy doll that existed in the 80s that it was based off of, giving it that kind of freak factor. Starring Brad Dourif as the voice of Chucky. Obviously, it follows Andy Barclay and his mom, who his mom obviously gets, I believe she gets murdered. No, she doesn't.
I don't remember. I honestly haven't watched this one in a while because the ones that we always watch is fucking The Curse of Chucky.
And yeah, my son's obsessed with The Curse of Chucky. Great start to the series. I would recommend watching them in order and watch every single one of them. And there's a TV show that came out last year, 2021, that will continue, I believe, in the fall of this year. It comes out usually right around October. So, yeah, watch all of them. You can skip the remake if you want, unless you kind of want to see what a more modern take on Chucky would be, starring Mark Hamill as the voice of Chucky. Really good movies. Definitely recommend. We are moving on to...
So 26 and 25 we can actually do together because they are two of the three installments of the House of a Thousand Corpses, which is Rob Zombie's movies.
Yeah.
Number 26
Corpses
is
and
The Devil's Rejects, which is the second one in it. It goes directly off of House of a Thousand Corpses, which is the first one. Gruesome fucking movies. Like, just fucking...
a lot of gore.
Yeah, just gory as shit. Bill Moseley stars in it. He plays Otis.
Following the events from the first movie, Devil's Rejects focused on three of the most significant characters, Captain Spaulding, Baby, and Otis. The Devil's Reject was a microcosm of post 9/11 rage, both at the exploitation of the victims at the hand of the government and big businesses, as well as the attackers. Devil's Rejects is one of the many movies that was filmed at Sable Ranch, which stood at 25933 Sand Canyon Road, Santa Clarita, California.
Very good movies. The third one was actually really good too. I didn't put it on here. It wasn't my favorite, and I say that very lightly because it was still a very good movie. I just think that the first two were better, better
what was
thought
the
out.
third one called? Wasn't it
Three
called
from Hell.
Three from Hell, yeah, that's right.
3 from Hell was the third installment into these 3 movies. It's also a very good fucking movie. I love all of them, but I do think that House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects were 2 better installments of the series. But you have to watch these movies. They're fucking gruesome. Like, if you
So-
like the gore, these are 3, actually, like, all 3 of them were just insane with the gore and the fucking kills.
So this puts us at an hour and 15. So I think this is going to be a 2-parter. Just because I think the other half is going to take us another hour and 15. So because they're going to actually be more in depth because they're our favorite collab parts of the
That's fair.
So,
We could actually,
we'll go more in depth, so.
being that this is the 25, we can do, we'll do 24 through number 1.
Well, what we'll do is we'll start out with 25, House of the Thousand Corpse. That way B can get a lot more explanation.
Yeah,
into
I
what he
would
wants to
actually
talk about.
Yeah, I would
them,
actually
so.
like to talk about those movies a little more in depth. So yeah, we can start with number 25. Maybe we'll do it. If we don't do it next week, then
We're
we'll
going to do it next week.
We'll do it
Yeah,
next week.
Yeah, I don't want to
Okay.
leave that much of a cliffhanger, but we are going to leave you guys tonight with a cliffhanger. So sorry. Make sure you check us out next week. We will return with the 25 to number 1. If you're excited, let us know. Reach out. Give us your opinions. Let us know. And we'll tell you what we think about your opinion. If you like this kind of stuff, also let us know. Be sure to follow us on all the social medias, and we will be... We'll post this one often, see if we can get a reaction out of everybody, and make sure you tune in live for the 25 to 1 of Best 50 Horror Movies from Andrew and B on Unfiltered Imposed Opinions. See you guys next week.
Peace.